Now, to forecast the next 7 days, here's UNL Extension statewide climatologist Al Dutcher.
Well, folks, here we are again on Friday morning. During this last week, we've seen two systems move across the state that brought precipitation. The first one, of course, came in the Sunday through Monday time frame, ending during the early portion of Tuesday. We've seen snowfall in the area of 2 to 3 inches, very common across portions of the Panhandle and the northwestern portion of the Sandhills. As you move to the southeast of there, we had much lighter precipitation totals, and they were primarily in the form of rainfall. And basically right around the 1/10 of an inch was a very common total that we've seen across the state. The second system, more significant, moved across South Dakota through northwest Iowa, clipping northeastern Nebraska during this last 24 hours, and we've seen snowfall totals in the 6-inch plus range in a narrow band. So very welcome moisture. We need to see more of this. We've been exceptionally dry in the northeastern corner of the state, and that's part of a broader area of dryness across the northern plains, where we've seen deficits in the area of 3 to 4.5 inches since last October. So these systems are very welcome, but during this next 2 months, we expect to receive at least 5 inches of moisture in the northeast part of the state. So not only do we need to see these systems keep generating moisture, but we need to see them generate enough moisture to start cutting into those deficits we've accumulated from last fall. So we welcome the moisture. Is there more in store? Well, let's take a look at the upper air models and see whether or not the systems are going to provide that moisture to northeastern Nebraska. And the first system that moved through now drove a pretty decent trough across the central corn belt, bringing in colder air from the north. So we're looking at highs in northeastern Nebraska, primarily in the low 30s, and that's because of the snowpack just immediately to your north. As you get toward the southwest, we'll be looking at highs that will approach in the low 40s. Now, as we go to tomorrow, you're going to notice that that trough has moved rapidly to the east. We got ridging patterns developing. Probably going to be the nicest day of this next 5 or 6 days. We're looking at highs in the low 50s across the south to the low 40s across the northeast, and we might even produce some mid-50s across portions of southwest Nebraska. This trough is going to start to move into the central Rockies and start generating energy into the region, and we'll see that as we go into Sunday. The first piece of energy rapidly moves across. We shall probably see some significant snowfall, again, chances of it in South Dakota and southern Minnesota. Northern Nebraska looks to be on the southern periphery of this system, so we're probably looking at 1 to 2 inches possibly of snowfall. Further south, it primarily will be sprinkles, nothing more than that. Highs low 30s across the northwest and north central part of the state. As you get to southeast Nebraska, low 40s. Now, as we get into Monday, we're going to see that that trough remains in place, and another piece of energy tries to shoot out. Will generate some light rainfall across southern Nebraska. Less than 1/10 of an inch is likely. We're looking at highs in the low 30s across the north to the low 40s across the south. By the time we get to Tuesday, that system is still in place, so another piece of energy may eject out on Tuesday, give us a chance for scattered light precipitation across southern Nebraska, looking at highs in the low 30s north, low 40s south. The real emphasis of this forecast would be Wednesday. As the system moves out, we could generate some accumulating snowfall, and we have to pay attention because we could actually see enough snowfall to generate advisories or even a winter storm watch. We'll be looking at highs in the low 30s across the northeast to the mid 40s across the south or the west. And as we go into Thursday, that system moves through. We're kind of in a zonal flow with the cold to our north and the warm to our south. So we'll be looking at highs in the low 30s north to the low 50s across the south. 8 to 14 day forecast from next Thursday through the following Tuesday keeps the warmth to our east, the cold to our west, and in terms of precipitation, we're looking at wet to our west, wet to our east, and we're pretty much stuck in the middle with normal types of precipitation.